Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of BAI's Beyond the Brand. I'm Heath Turner, and today we are featuring our franchise partner Green Home Solutions and their Maryland franchisee Brian Preuss. Brian started right during COVID actually in 2020, so we'll hear all about that and how he's grown his business since then. And hopefully through this conversation, whether you're a broker or just an interested party, it'll give you a better understanding of the Green Home Solutions brand overall. And so, Brian, first off, thanks for cutting out some time today to join me. I really appreciate it.
Hey Heath, thanks for the invite. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. So I like to kick off these conversations just getting to know a little bit more about you. So I'm curious, before 2020 and becoming a franchisee, what was your career path? What industry did you come from?
Yeah. So I retired from the Army in 2020. The
Oh, thank
wife
you for your
said, "Hey,
service.
you can't stay at home and drink beer all day." I'm like, that was, priority number one, but that was shot down right immediately, right? So, um, I have a microbiology degree from a few decades ago.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I worked with a franchise broker for months, probably 6 or 8 months, and it was a great process because they got to learn about me and my family and our values and what we were looking to do, what was our lefts and rights.
Hmm.
And they presented a few different options to me, um, you know, different types of options, some that I kind of understood the brand, some I understood what the work was going to be. But the capital was more than I was looking to throw down at that time.
Yeah.
And when they presented Green Home Solutions to me, I was like, man, capital was much less. Um,
Hmm.
I understood, what they were doing in the indoor air quality realm. I'd traveled all around the world, breathing in crappy air everywhere. Um, Here in central Maryland, it's hot and humid in the summers and only getting hotter and more humid. Uh, and the homes are getting tighter and tighter, which is great for home energy consumption, but horrible for indoor air quality. And so, from a
Yeah.
business perspective, my background and ability to build a team, I was like, hey, let's do this. And the wife said, okay. Well, and she hung on for the ride again, and off we went.
Yeah. And what was it particularly about Green Home Solutions, other than the industry and the price point, that really piqued your interest and made you feel, confident in that decision?
Yeah, part of our my personal and family values was environmental stewardship. We're not throwing harsh chemicals in people's homes,
Yeah.
but we always say the solution to pollution is dilution, and so as these pollutants, whether it's mold, allergens, VOCs, particulates, as these things build up in homes these days, they're not leaving, and
Yeah.
so enter Green Home Solutions with our own solutions, our EPA registered plant-based products, our knowledge on indoor air quality and the built environment, and it's been a great opportunity for me and my team.
Yeah. And I feel like not just your interest in that, but there's so much more of a point of emphasis around, renewable energy source and environmentally friendly from the consumer standpoint too, to know that they're, using environmentally friendly products and doing it the most eco-friendly way. I feel like that's more and more of a priority as time goes on.
Absolutely, we're seeing a lot more of it. People are they want to know what they're eating, they want to know what they're breathing,
Yeah,
and there's studies out there that are showing that these indoor air impurities are causing serious health effects, whether that's
absolutely.
allergies, certain cancers, some dementia, and different brain diseases, and the like. And sure, these things, different people have different thresholds,
Hmm.
and some it affects sooner than others later.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is continued. Uh, uh, Being in these environments for a continued period of time is not making you not going to make you better, right? It's
Hmm.
only going to make things worse. And so
Right.
it was a great opportunity.
Yeah, and you mentioned your military service, by the way. Thank you for your service. Appreciate your service to our country. What do you think kind of gave you a unique perspective in what you were looking for out of a franchise based on your military experience, what did you prioritize? What was most important to you to see out of a brand that you wanted to pursue?
Yeah. So I retired as an E9 in the Army, and so training is a very important thing to an NCO in the military.
Hmm.
We conduct a lot of training, and so uh, looking at the franchise, particularly the Green Home franchise, and the training and support network that was put in place there, and
Hmm.
it's only gotten better over time. It intrigued me and was like, okay, this is something I can wrap my head around. There's a support network here, just like my Army time, right?
Yeah.
Um, I don't have bullets flying over my head anymore, but now it's very similar in the aspect of, hey, we're here to help you, right? Not only at the
Hmm.
franchise service center, but the area reps. There's a built-in layers of help throughout, and it's great to see franchisees thrive because of that.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got different life experiences, education, etc. And when they come here, there's kind of a menu of things. Hey, you do these things, you're going to be successful, right?
Hmm.
And um, it's very similar to my background on how that went. Um, yeah, so I'm truly blessed to be able to be a part of this team.
Yeah, absolutely. And that ties in nicely to my next question. I'm curious, in those early days, when you first got started, what skills that you already had, what do you think helped you the most as a new franchisee? What translated over well for you?
The number one thing I come back to is persistence, right? And so, uh, for sure, I'll beat my head up against the wall until I figure it out. But the nice thing about this franchise model, particularly the Green Home Solutions model, is that I've got a network of people all up and down the Eastern Seaboard here that we're all in a tech stream together.
Hmm.
We can ask each other. I've got the franchise service center tech team to ask things on the technical level of things.
Yeah.
But you brought up a very good point, right? When I first started out, um, I had my first job and I didn't have any employees yet, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this by myself.
Yeah.
And as luck would have it, I got my first employee, right? But
Mhm.
um, it wasn't long, it wasn't long after that where I started to develop. Green Home had their own company values, right? That I valued as well. But I learned early on to, all right, so let's one, develop those values. Two, let's try to recruit for those values, right? And so
Yeah.
out of the Army, coming out of special operations in the Army, where we were assessed, trained, and selected, I understood that model.
Hmm.
And what I was trying to, and I'm still trying to perfect that, right? It never ends, is trying to make sure that you're bringing in the right people
Yeah.
to help your business. And that aspect of the Army was 100% transferable to this right now.
Mhm.
Traits that I'm looking for and things like that are different, but that it was a hugely beneficial transferable skill.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see that parallel there. And then on the opposite side, what was your biggest learning curve as a new franchisee? What did you find yourself leaning on support from Green Home Solutions franchisor and maybe other franchisees for the most help with?
Yeah, for sure. The initial piece, you're looking at that technical aspect of things.
Yeah.
Like you go to Green Home Solutions for training. There's some online training. You go to the area reps for 2 weeks to learn, and then you're on your own, right?
Hmm.
Quote unquote on your own. You're not. You have that support network, but your shoulders feel heavy at that moment, right? And um, just being able to tap into that and get after it. So the first aspect was the technical aspect, not only doing assessments but actually doing the jobs after you get approved proposals,
Yep.
and so that's kind of that first step on this of the ladder here, right?
Hmm.
And marketing was kind of intuitive to me. It's very similar to targeting from a military perspective. I had to learn a new vernacular, but that's okay. Learn the Google ecosystem. That's okay. I mean, one of the huge benefits that I have coming from that environment to this environment was every day. particularly, I mean, even to this day, but initially I had to learn something new, and it was great for my mind.
Yeah.
It was great to um, let me digest things and learn things, and then help other people learn these things as well as my team grew.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like from what you've said so far, there's a really collaborative culture among the franchisees. Like you said, the East Coast franchisees have this kind of network. How would you describe the culture, and how do you help other franchisees? How do you get help on a daily basis? Is that something that's kind of facilitated by the franchisor, or has it happened more organically?
Um, I would say a little bit of both. I think they see the franchisor sees the benefit of it, right?
Hmm.
When 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 one franchisee becomes more successful, everybody becomes a little bit more successful, right?
Right.
And
Yep.
so there's that aspect to it. Um, uh, Sorry, just had a senior moment there. Could you
That's
repeat
that's
that?
okay. No, yeah, I was just curious if that collaboration is something that's facilitated by the franchisor, or has it happened pretty organically too? Just meeting other franchisees and having those people, going through the same thing you're going through to kind of lean on for support, which I'm sure you've
Yeah,
returned the favor now that you've, been around for some time too.
yeah. So for sure, organically, Gr- Green Home lives by some values. I've instilled that in my team. It's mutual respect amongst each other and our
Hmm.
teammates and our customers. It's integrity. Bad news doesn't get better with time. I always tell people, let's talk about the sticky boogers before they get flicked onto somebody else.
Yeah.
Transparency. Hey, let's talk about where we are, where we're going, and how we can get there.
Hmm.
And then teamwork. Specific to our team, but this goes up and down the escalator here, all the way up to the franchise service center. Is, hey, I can't do my job without technicians and sales, and without sales, the technicians don't have any work to do. But without us, the franchise service center has no reason to exist, right? And
Right.
so, um, that culture is permeated. The limestone of it, if you will, is our values, right?
Hmm.
And so the franchise service center, particularly on the business development side, does a really good job of bringing in people that are values based, that understand values, uh, because there's a thing that we're trying to build here, right? And
Yeah.
and um, one bad apple can kind of throw out everything, right? And
Right.
so
Yeah.
there's of course risk, but I think they mitigate a lot of risks by bringing in the right people, and providing the right support networks.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And then you talked a lot about, you were doing a little bit of everything when you got started. So what did that day in the life, typical day in the life look like? What were your roles and responsibilities, and has that changed over time as you've grown?
Oh, for sure. And as the business owner, right, there are days that we got a huge job that I'm in it to win it, right? I'm back out there sometimes, right? But um, probably something I didn't realize fully until I started getting into this. But as the business owner, particularly as a small business owner with not a large team, particularly to start off with, you're the technician, you're the salesperson, you're the owner, you're the HR rep, you're the payroll rep, you're the legal rep, you're the person that orders all the supplies, you're the logistics guy, you're the
Hmm.
scheduler, you're everything, right? But what that enables you to do is now you know everything, right?
Yeah.
And maybe you're not good at certain things, and you hire people for certain aspects of those things,
Right.
and it allows you to have a good understanding of everything. And that way you're not going to get snowed by somebody that comes in and goes, yeah, I'm doing this, and you're like, well, I don't think you are. You're not doing it to the level that you can provide better oversight. How's that?
Yeah. No, that absolutely makes sense. And then what were those roles you hired out? How'd you kind of, delegate some responsibilities? What were the first things you tried to take off your own plate?
Yeah. So I'm going to speak a little bit out of both sides of my mouth here, but the first people I started to hire were salespeople with the understanding that they were going to do jobs with me.
Okay.
Um, Sales, I looked at sales being one of the hardest things to hire for. and the hardest things to train for, and at least the longest period of time.
Hmm.
Um, the technician aspects of it, after you do a few, you can kind of understand what we're doing, how we're doing it. For sure, every job's a new job and you're learning, right? But with some oversight, a technician can get to work pretty quickly. Um, and so I was hiring salespeople. Eventually, once we started to book some jobs, and I started hired some more technicians.
Okay.
Um, and then it was okay. We're booked out a couple weeks. Now I got to figure out. We got to get another van. We got to get some more technicians, right?
Mhm.
So that we can keep this thing rolling. And now I kind of sit back and well, within the past year, I've hired a company to answer the phones, and so my sales team can concentrate on just doing the assessments,
Okay.
writing it up, having those engagements with the customers. They're not worried about answering the phones all the time.
Yeah.
That's been hugely beneficial. Uh, and so my job now is, how do I make the team better? How do I make our processes better?
Hmm.
Uh, it's really, I won't say I'm at the 20,000 foot level yet. I'm probably in the 5 to 10,000 foot level, just trying to be able to uh, forecast and improve the team for not only individually, their training, their uh, their benefits, all these types of things that go into my day in and day out now.
Yeah. So more leaning toward the executive level than the heavy owner operator you were in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, the heavy owner operator piece was probably year and a half,
Yeah.
2 years maybe.
Hmm.
Uh, I'd done a whole lot of things at that point then, and I still have people a part of the team that started way back then, and
Yeah. And so where's your whole operation at today in terms of how many employees, multiple territories? Just kind of give us an idea of where your franchise is at currently.
yeah. So started, by myself with 2 territories in Central Maryland here, in one van. We are up to 3 vans, 2 sales vehicles, ebbed and flows between 5 and 10 employees.
Hmm.
I guess I have a new guy starting on Monday, um, and we're growing, and we're about to head into the slow season, if you will.
Okay.
Um, but we're booked out a month right now, and so that is it's a testament to my team and the work
Hmm.
that they're doing, and how we're able to help our customers. But it's also a testament to the green home system, and the processes and solutions, and software and technology that they're helping us to enable better service to our customers.
Yeah. And what's been the most successful marketing strategy for client acquisition? Is it mostly digital? Is it outside sales? What's really driven the core of your business?
I would say, yeah, absolutely digital. I'm in I was in a cohort or in a class last night, and one of the guys was talking about the next industrial revolution, in which we're at a tipping point right now with
Hmm.
AI, right? And
Hmm.
so we talk a lot about this, or at least I do, with the franchise service center folks, with other area reps, et cetera, on, hey, how are we maximizing potential for this next industrial revolution, right?
Yeah.
People don't necessarily think about that in the service related industries, but yes, we're an indoor air quality company, but if we're not bringing in the technology, the AI for things to be able to help us grow our businesses, we'll be one of those businesses that is left to the wayside.
Yeah. Right. And then where would you like this business to go? What's your kind of 5-year vision in terms of expanding to additional territories or just really fulfilling the ones you have? What's your plan?
Yeah, so 5 years. Yeah, I could see myself growing a few more territories potentially. They're kind of just rounding this out a little bit.
Hmm.
Uh, Getting a GM at that point. I won't. I don't think I'll be sitting there drinking umbrella drinks yet, but
Getting closer.
yeah, getting closer, right? We don't get any younger. But building something pretty good here. I'm really happy with the team and where we're going and the support that we're getting. And from marketing to technical aspects of things and innovating different solutions and different verticals that are adjacent to indoor air quality issues, right? And so
Yeah.
talk about all um, the core principles of what we do related to indoor air quality, whether that's testing and remediating for mold, indoor allergens, VOCs, and particulates. But there's
Hmm.
adjacent verticals associated with those that that affect indoor air quality, and I'll be looking to grow those verticals
Hmm.
um, over the next 5 years for sure.
And are those things that franchisees typically wait a while and focus on the main revenue streams before they diversify into those, or does it just kind of depend on the owner?
Yeah, it depends on the owner. I'll say that it's a lot, right? Depending on your background and your experience, to take on everything.
Yeah.
And so, start with the core nucleus and build from there. There's
Hmm.
opportunities, absolutely, right? But um, building from that core allows you to go to build on from there, right? And so,
Hmm.
that's the other benefit to this model, right? Is,
Yeah.
hey, I don't have to find experts in all these other things. Those are kind of handed to us and said, hey, reach out to these folks, or hey, these are the folks we're bringing in for training. Um, let's figure out how to grow this vertical in this adjacent vertical to indoor air quality.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, I just have a couple more questions. One thing that our brokers really try to focus on with their candidates is their why. So a lot of times you kind of have to dig under the surface for that. And when you think of back to 2020, when you were working with a franchise consultant, what was your why? Why did you want to become a franchisee? What did you want to gain from it when you think back to that?
Yeah, my why was a multiple branches on this tree. Um, One, I wanted to stay local. I wanted to help people in my community, not only from a customer perspective, but an employee perspective.
Hmm.
Uh, I had breathed horrible air across the world. They didn't send us to the sandy beaches. If
Yeah,
they were, they're the armpits of the sandy beaches of the world.
yeah.
And so I wanted to bring indoor air quality and air quality in general.
Hmm.
I wanted to help people. So that was part of it. And then um, the other aspect of it was is that I wanted the freedom to make my own choices of, hey, I'm not going to work tomorrow afternoon because I want to go do something with my family.
Yep.
And I didn't want to have to ask, hey, mother, can I go do this?
Yeah.
As the business owner, I get to make those decisions now.
Yep.
Um, there's risks, there's things associated with every decision you make. But I don't have to mother may I for anything anymore. So
Hmm.
that was nice.
And this opportunity's scratched that itch for you. It's met those expectations.
Absolutely. This summer we were going on college visits with my daughter,
Yeah.
and sure, I wasn't around for a week or so, but I was able to monitor everything. I was able to talk with my team,
Hmm.
track everything. I'm not saying that it's a business to be mobile all the time in,
Right.
but I had that opportunity to do that, right? And
Yeah.
so in certain aspects, I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah, that's it's a great perk, great privilege from being your own boss and owning your own business. And then the last question, which I feel like since you have that familiarity with franchise brokers, it'd be pretty straightforward for you. But if you put yourself in the shoes of a franchise consultant and you're presenting Green Home Solutions to a candidate you're working with, knowing everything you know about the brand, how would you present this opportunity to a candidate? What would be the things you would highlight about the brand?
I think the first thing that I would start off with is, you ever heard of any other company that markets themselves as an indoor air quality company? I haven't.
Right.
And when you're looking at competition and you're looking at other things that are around there, I'm not saying we don't have competition, for sure we do, but um, nobody comes at it from our perspective. Nobody looks at the built environment like we look at the built environment. I'll drive down the road and I'll see an HVAC company with a thing on there that, heating, cooling, boilers, indoor air quality. And then I'm thinking, oh, you're talking about temperature. Got it. Um, so there's nobody out there like this. And so, and nobody has the solutions, other, quote unquote competition is, going to, Lowe's, Home Depot to get their types of solutions and whatnot.
Yeah.
We have all that stuff internally, right? And so, if I'm a broker and I'm trying to sell green home solutions, I'm starting with, have you ever do your research in your area? When you do research on indoor air quality in your area, what pops up? One,
Hmm.
probably very little that's going to pop up on the web.
Yeah.
Um, and then two, the support network is, this started 13, 15 years ago, whatever, right? And so you can
Hmm.
imagine the maturation of from where they were not then to where they are now. This is a growing franchise and a great opportunity to get in now before it becomes one of those franchises that doesn't have any territories. And if you're going to get in, you got to buy one that's selling for a lot higher price.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And then just a kind of second part of that question, if you're presenting to a military veteran, what would be the things you'd highlight about this brand that might stick out to them, might appeal to them?
Yeah. So the military is built on values as well, right? They'll understand those very well. And it's not very often in a service related brand that you find values at the heart of what they do.
Yeah.
And so I think that there's a natural connection there, building things off of value. Um, I think the other thing that military people will understand is training.
Hmm.
And you don't have to be an expert on day one. That's there's a support network to help you.
Right.
It's almost like basic training. Then you go to your AIT, your advanced individual training to get a little bit better, right? But
Hmm.
then you go out into the field and you learn from your sergeant and your lieutenant and whoever that may be, and you're learning and learning and learning, and over time you've built up enough stories of your own and experiences of your own that you're starting to give back, and so now that's very transferable to your mid-grade officers and NCOs in the military aspect of things. And so,
Hmm.
and the skills are absolutely transferable. Uh, Leadership skills,
Yeah.
uh, persistence. Um, Military sends you to school to go do things. It's not any different here. This is just picking up different skills
Hmm.
to help your team and help your customers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Brian, it's a pleasure getting to know you and hearing your story. Thank you again so much for your service to our country and wishing you all the best continued success with Green Home Solutions.
Thanks, Heath. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.